Hey guys, welcome back. This is Jax on the channel of the Jaxster, and this is another command block series tutorial. And I thought after watching the last tutorial and video that I'd go back because there's some things maybe that wasn't as clear. And if you wanted to get some more information, I thought we'd go ahead and jump over to the Microsoft Learning page and look at some of the documentation talking about commands and command blocks. And give a little more in depth for somebody that's starting out brand new. If you're familiar with command blocks and you're not interested in, some more details or the basics and stuff like that, you don't need to watch the video. But if you're interested in some more details and maybe want to follow along with the series and get some more details, this is a good video for you to get started with. So anyway, I'll leave the link to this down in the description. It'll be a bit.ly link, a short link like I usually leave, just for to make it shorter. But anyway, I wanted to jump over here, and it talks about the introduction of commands and for the bedrock documentation. So again, I'm focusing this on the bedrock edition of Minecraft. So there's some good stuff here you want to learn about. It talks about the chat command where you can do a lot of the commands. And I think it's a good thing. And I'm not going to read all this literally to you. It's something you can come and read, but I want to touch on some of the highlights. They start here. They're talking about the chat box is where you can do a lot of commands. We've done that a little bit, and so if you're on mobile too, it's a way for you to learn. I do know there's a lot of people that do command blocks that are on mobile, or they play exclusively, so that's good. So in this follow-along tutorial, it talks about what commands are and how to begin using them. Command syntax, that's something that's very important, is the syntax. And then how to use target selectors and selector parameters. And I was kind of touching about the parameters when I was talking about the things that are in the less than and greater than boxes and everything. But one thing I really didn't talk about is getting started, the things you need to do to be able to actually even use commands and stuff like that in the game. So you need to activate cheats. You can do daylight cycle or not. Most of these are optional, but you do have to have command blocks enabled. And of course, you're going to be in creative mode. Now, once you get your command block set up and everything, you can save it. You can save a world in survival and be able to interact with those command blocks, or have them set up to, like, later on have a test kit, like one of the things I kind of got me back started in these command blocks. So if that makes sense. But anyway, like I said, you got to be in creative mode. And you're the person who's going to be doing the commands, at least to get the command block set up, is what our goal is, needs to have operator commands. Like it shows here, it has the crown. And again here, operator commands, yes. Okay, and then using the chat for command, that's how we got started. And again, like it's just talking about here, you're just going to use the slash so you can have the commands pop up. I know on my last video too, I had part of this cut off. I went through and looked at the formatting. I'm going to be able to format the videos going forward so that this is not cut off. I do apologize for that. And then quick action buttons here says changing the time of day and the weather. These have set up when you type in the command. Especially this is good for if you're on mobile, right? So you can get to the weather, the time, and teleporting and setting a world spawn. I touched about world spawn, but I didn't really explain it too much. But that's just basically where you're going to spawn in within a certain amount of blocks if you set the world spawn, right? Because normally the default wants to be 0 and then your height of like 64 for your Y value and then 0. But sometimes you have blocks there like lava or water or something. It's not a safe spot to spawn, and that will change within a certain amount of blocks. So you may not be you might be like 15, 64, 32 or something. It can vary a little bit. Is what I'm saying. Okay, and this is as you type in the commands here displayed on the chat screen. The filter will match the characters you input. You can press the tab. That's what I was talking about, the tab key, to cycle through the list at any time in order to choose the command you want to run. So like if you type in /T, it'll put up, the teleport or time, and if you go down to the one, you can arrow down or actually type in TI and then hit tab, and then it'll go to the time. But if you typed in TE or /TE, and you hit tab, it's going to go to the teleport command. So that's kind of what it's talking about here. And then I also talked about if you press the up and down arrow keys after you've already done a previous command, it will show up. And then command syntax. These are pretty good to show you that you do it. And another thing that you can do is begin the game, and you can come over here and copy these and paste them in if you're brand new. Again, this video's basically for someone that's wanting to get a refresh or it's new to commands and command blocks. And then, excuse me, then we're going to talk about the arguments. And basically, arguments is just other parameters, syntax that you use when you use a command. So it's talking about the victim and the target here. The target actually, you can be different things, but here they're showing it for the player name. So you wouldn't type in player name unless that was the user's name. But so like for me, you would type in /test4 thejaxster 70. That's my Xbox name, character name for Minecraft, or actually for all games. I'm thejaxster 70. So I would type in /test4 thejaxster 70, and then there's other arguments you could do after that. You do execute commands on that, basically to teleport me or something else in the game. So that's what I was talking about, where we get in compounding arguments. So you would type in test for that, you get it set up, and then you would execute another command based on if this was true. So then we get down and some basic things you can type in for, and it shows is like the difficulty of the game, right, where you can set it up. And the game allows you to do different things, like type in peaceful, easy, normal, or hard, or you can use an integer. Let's talk about here, which is just a 0, 1, 2, or 3 that correspond to these. So 0 would be peaceful, 1 would be easy, 2 would be normal, and 3 would be hard. And then it shows you, typing in on the chat command where you could do it. So if you type in a chat field, either one of these represent the same thing, /difficulty hard or /difficulty 3. And you do need to have a space in between also. When I said it, I didn't put the space in, but that's what you would need to have for sure. And then you can target a player and set their game mode for just that individual. So like if you wanted to give somebody operator command, and you already have operator command, this is the way you could do it here. So you're giving them the command. And it shows it here exactly like that, /game mode, survival, or you could give them creative, and then the player name. So if I wanted to give myself, or I wanted to say the server operator to give me creative mode, so I could set up some things or whatever in the game, they would type in /game mode. And actually, in Bedrock, you can just type in /GM. There's another, it's a shortcut also for game mode. And they would type in /game mode, creative, thejaxster 70. Okay. And then we get down to time. This is what we kind of talked about. You could use integers, or like 6,000 is the same thing as noon. So, like I was saying in the last video, it said 87,000, I think, and that was for midnight or night. So I don't remember exactly which ones are which, but for the times. But it's easy if you can type in noon, night, and day. That's a way you can do it. And again, it shows you how to do that using an integer, a number, versus a name. So let's see, it's kind of like a descriptor, like it talks about here. Same thing with the weather. You can come in here and you can change. You can clear the rain or the thunder, and you can say for how long. So the duration, and then you would put an integer in here for the number, how long the time. So they're saying for 10,000, and I believe this is ticks, not actually time. So it would do it for 10,000 ticks, which is 20. So it's like 5,000 seconds. Yeah, or 500 seconds actually, because you have to divide 10,000 by 20. Again, then they come down here and we talk about more parameters when they're testing for blocks. And a lot of things, like when you're copying something in Minecraft, they want you to start out with a block and end with a block. So that way you have like a range of blocks. And that can it changes on the X, Y, and Z for all three of those too, right? So you just got to remember that. And we'll get into more of those as we do the videos. And if you want to get down here talking about the different types of parameters and input types, like it says here, like I said, this is a good to read along with and get kind of familiar with these things. We talked about target selectors at the player, at all, and different things. So in here, it shows you even a random player. That's pretty cool. So then that's some of the things you can do in here. You can go in game mode creative /A or at A, meaning all players. But again, I kind of went longer than I thought I was going to go in the video, but I would encourage you to come down and check these things out. We'll talk about some of these specifically in the future videos, and some things we might skip over. But if you have questions, definitely ask down in the comments, and I'll try to make the videos around those or answer down in the comments itself. But what I'd like to be able to do is at least get us to functions in the series, and then if everybody's interested, we'll continue on with functions and maybe set up some like demo scoreboards and stuff like that it just talks about here. Ticking area is very important also, because if the area is not loaded and you have command blocks, they won't work. And that's one of the things that I was talking about before. If you wanted to target players in the game while everybody's active, you need to have a ticking area. But with that, guys, I think the video's run long enough. I want to end it, and so you don't get too bored with it or it's not too much. And like I said, I'll leave this down in the description so you can come back and find out and go over the areas yourself if you're interested. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you have a good day. Bye.